That's kind of pretty, isn't it? That's kind of pretty. Like you and me. That's Uranus. Not to be confused with Uranus. 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 Uranus is pretty. Yeah, some are, and some aren't. This is the planet Uranus. Yes, it's a play on words. I am not fully grown up, so I still laugh at things like that. Don't ever grow up fully. Always laugh at silly, stupid jokes like that. Uranus, the 7th planet from the Sun. Planet number 7, blue. It's called the blue-green planet. And it's funny because there's no life there. There's no water. Well, that's not true. There's frozen ice. There's ice in the atmosphere. It is called what is called an ice giant. And it is the 3rd largest planet in our solar system. And it's a unique, weird planet too. It's on its side. It's tilted on its side. It has rings, even though you don't see them in the picture there, but there's rings. It's got a bunch of moons, but they're all small and they have kind of different characteristics. It's got like a weird weather systems on it. It's got seasons, kind of like Earth, except there's no land. There's no surface. And so just like Jupiter and Saturn, it's got those weird cloud bands and that weird white spot that's there. It is the farthest planet from the Sun that's visible with the naked eye. And so our ancient ancestors observed it most of the time, though they thought it was just a star. And the reason for that is, it goes back to that orbit that we talked about. The further you are away from the Sun, the longer it takes you to go around the Sun. And so Uranus's orbit is like 80 years. 80 years. So most humans don't live long enough to see Uranus travel all the way around the Sun. And because of that, it moves so slowly in the sky that you don't realize it's even moving, and it looks like a star. And so every night it's pretty much in the same place. It's only after hundreds of nights that it changes its position in the sky. So that's interesting. Uranus is also the coldest planet. Most people think Pluto is the coldest planet, Pluto or Neptune, which we'll get to in the next couple days. And that's not true. The atmosphere in Uranus actually reduces the temperature, and for some reason the core doesn't push out heat like other planets do. And so it can get really, really cold, like negative 400 degrees on Uranus. So it's cold there. We have visited, humans sent the Voyager 2 spacecraft to Uranus to do some investigations. That's the only time we've ever visited Uranus, and there are no other planned trips. I don't know why. I think Uranus is a pretty interesting place. Yeah, I'm having fun with words here, baby. And so let's see, it was almost named George's star, which we like that because your grandpa was named George. And uranium, the element uranium, is actually named after Uranus, uranium. So uranium, Uranus. So there's a lot to think about in Uranus. So I find it just very fascinating. It's really the planet that everybody forgets about. They make fun of the name. Oh, Uranus, 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 your butthole, Uranus, Uranus, Uranus. I'm just kidding. That's not what it's called. It's called Uranus. But we don't really, most people don't know much about it. And so I think that's one reason why I find Uranus so interesting. And so that's that. The 7th planet from the Sun, after Saturn and before Neptune. And so that's what we were focused on this evening as we talk about our planets. Be interesting to see Uranus from a telescope, but it doesn't have many features. So again, it would look just a little bit like a star. It's a big, beautiful, wonderful planet Uranus is, and in our big, beautiful, wonderful solar system. There's a lot to talk about. You and I have a lot to talk about. Today is just one day that we celebrate that, and Father's Day. January 27th, 2022. Happy Father's Day to you and your Uranus. I hope that I get to see you soon.